Good morning. Welcome to my thought for the day. We're continuing in this teaching that Jesus gave about prayer as recorded in Luke 11. And having given them the outline of the things to pray for, the outline which we have taken to mean that we should repeat the exact words that are said by Jesus. And I'm not sure that he ever meant them to learn a prayer by rote. But this was the pattern after which we should pray. And they then went on to tell them the story about, it's in verse 5, about a man who had a friend who came in the middle of the night and asked him for help, asked him for food, and the man in the house is already in bed, everything is shut up. The last thing he wants to do is to help his friend. And he's reluctant to get up because he's been asked, but because his friend presses him in his need, he will get up just so that he can go back to sleep, basically. And you know, this really, this reminded me very much of something of things that happen to us sometimes. We're in the middle of doing something, we're involved, we've got plans set for that day or for that afternoon, and somebody rings us and asks for a lift somewhere or asks for help. I've never known us actually refuse. But there is that immediate reluctance in our hearts that says, oh dear, I was involved doing this, or oh dear, that day is the only day this week when we're not doing anything and we were going to just get on with things in the house. But we always say yes, even though it's a bit reluctantly. But I don't think, when Jesus told a story like this, indeed he told that story about the judge who wouldn't settle the widow's case, but she kept pressing him until he did. I think he's not really saying that this is what God is like, but he's saying, if this is how you behave, how much more will God answer your prayers when you come to him? It's a comparison by contrast rather than a story that says how God answers prayer, because I don't believe for a minute that God has this reluctance and that God is asleep. The scriptures tell us that God never sleeps and he's never too busy. He's never occupied. So I think Jesus is saying, if you as human beings will help each other when pressed, how much more will God help you when you turn to him? Because God is not like human beings. It's a contrast comparison rather than an illustration comparison, I believe anyway. But it does help us that Jesus understands that as human beings sometimes it's very hard for us to help each other because of the situation that we're in. But he tells this story, and it is something to think about, just to review in your mind and in your heart how willing you are to help. Because we often say, oh, if you ever need anything, just let me know. And that is a very big promise, a very broad promise. If you ever need anything, just ask. And then when that person asks, it's difficult, it's inconvenient, we're busy, we can't help, we haven't got we've got the resources but they're not easily to hand, whatever the problem may be, that natural reluctance, because a lot of us find it difficult to have our plans disturbed by an unexpected event. But we need to have in our heart's mind a decision made that we would help and assist and supply, as this friend supplied the food for the visitor that had come to his friend's house. He could easily have said to his friend, "You should have had something ready in case somebody came." But it's not that easy, is it? But we need to be generous, because we'll see in the next few verses just how generous God is to us when we reach out to him, when we pray. So just that thought on my mind, that we should spend time today just reviewing any things that have happened recently when someone has asked us for help or someone has approached us for something and our heart has sunk in our chest and we thought, oh, I'm busy, or oh, I was going to do such and such, and oh, I don't want to go. It's us. It's who we are. It's not who God is. It's who we are. And we want to say, if you've had experiences like that recently, we want to cry out to God and say, change my heart, Lord. Change my automatic response to someone who's in need. Change my willingness to help. Because we want to be more like God, ready and willing to help at any moment. God bless you. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.